Start us up, Con.
No.
Come on.
And welcome to Hidden Shadows of the Secret Chamber.
Cleopatra coming at ya. Don't just target. Go ahead, work it. Woo!
Oh, man.
He really, really wanted to save the jingle, and there was a issue, so I had to re-record that.
Yes, but
that makes sense.
He found a way to squeeze it in. Anyway,
I'm Con.
I'm Alex.
That's Nakan, so you know that
Who is
already.
refusing to do the introduction.
And today's special guest is, everybody loves him, it's Keenan.
What's up, everybody? Good to be back.
Yo, so we are your friendly neighborhood podcast who watches kung fu films, all kinds of martial arts, and we review them for you. For anybody who's trying to get into kung fu movies or who is already just into kung fu movies and wants to watch hilarious movies later, get off your Instagram.
All right.
We will kind of help get you into the genre and guide you through it because we're your friends, and we're going to recommend some bomb-ass movies.
Before we get started on the movie review itself, what have we been watching this week, fellas?
Okay. Damn, man. I was still watching that show that I recommended on the last pod, The Seraphs of the End.
Ooh. And
I'm praying to God that they have a season 2 because it was an epic ending. And there's a lot of heartwarming speeches in there about family and friendship, guys. It's an anime. What do you want? It's just gonna happen, okay? When you watch these things, and you're just gonna have to muscle through it for the good parts with fighting and stabbing things. So that's what I'm watching. What about you guys?
Anything new, Nikonsi?
I just finished season 2 of Man Seeking Woman, which is a very funny comedy show. I've been on a comedy kick.
You have been.
But each episode is 20 minutes long, and everything that happens in the show is completely exaggerated from the guy's point of view in his mind.
Okay.
So he imagines these worst case scenarios. He ends up getting paid more, so he gets a check in the mail so he can afford more expensive beer.
Okay.
So he finally graduates to the more expensive beer, and the way it shows it plays out in his head and in the show is he goes to let's say a convenience store, and he has friends and family sitting in a chair, and he's wearing a cap and gown, and it's treating it like a graduation ceremony, and the guy's like, you can now choose a more expensive beer. Which one would you go for? And then he looks at the 2 seats that are empty, and he's like, oh, my mom and dad's not here yet. They're not here. And then as soon as he's about to pick the beer, they show up, and he's like, oh, you guys made it. I'm so happy you made it to my graduation. They're like, I'm so proud of you. You finally made enough money to buy more expensive stuff.
That sounds amazing and for sure real life shit right there. When you're just buying the cheap shit and then you get a little raise and you're like, oh, I'm going to buy the actual name brand shit. So
funny part is this plays out through his whole life. I mean, at his life when we're watching it, but different scenarios. There's this girl that he really likes, and but she ends up having a boyfriend, so he feels this guy is so lucky. He's like Jesus, and guess what? When he meets the boyfriend, it is Jesus.
Oh my god!
And it does this throughout the whole show.
That sounds like the good kind of daydream skit comedy.
Yes, it is exactly his daydreams.
Those are my favorites. What about you?
Because we all relate to that. I haven't actually been watching too many new things. I actually rewatched Batman Begins, and it is that good. Christian Bale. It was that good.
Heck yeah.
But also, because I watched that, I realized that Netflix actually had all of the other Batman movies, and I went back and they were the good kind of cheesy.
Wait a
They
minute.
were fun.
Oh, the old ones?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, oh man, the Batman Forever is the one with, I think, Van Kilmer is his name.
Yep, and Jim Carrey.
And
Tommy
that
Lee
one,
Jones.
that one actually wasn't
yeah.
that bad. Like, it was a really different Batman from what's his name's Michael Keaton's Batman. But
This one was
Batman Forever was Val Kilmer.
Okay. And that one was with Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which one was the one with Tim
Burton directing it. Those were the ones with Michael Keaton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
first one's the one I think that had Jack Nicholson as the Joker, and those were again, they were the good kind of campy. Like they definitely aged,
Okay.
but I had a lot more fun than I thought I was going to. And it's been a while since I've rewatched them. Keenan, have you seen anything in particular lately that you want to recommend?
Not really. How about something none of us have seen? Go see Black Panther. Super excited for that. Everyone go see
Yeah.
Black Panther.
Heck yeah, I'm fucking stoked for that one too. That one,
February 16th.
dude. How epic is that trailer? Like with what song is that? Is that a song by Kanye?
No, there's one trailer with Vince Staples, and then there's also a trailer with Kendrick Lamar.
The revolution will not be televised.
There you go.
Ooh. Ooh.
So today we watched On Back. Somehow On Back. Somehow I've gotten through life through the 13 years that this movie has been out, and I haven't watched it. So I talked these guys into watching it. So we're gonna get into the everybody's favorite segment where I try to summarize the plot in a, what is it now, 45-second run-on sentence.
We are allowing you a minute. And
A minute today. Ooh.
No, we always allow you a minute.
Oh, okay.
But I time at 45 to make sure you're feeling the pressure,
Feeling the
so you
heat.
can
It's
at
giving me
least
the red light.
get in there.
Okay, let me get the juices
Last
flowing.
time you did it in 40 and a half.
Ooh.
So
I'm glad you got
yeah.
like record of this. Okay, here we go.
3, 2, 1, go.
Cool. So we got this Buddhist hillbilly from the ranch who was really good at climbing trees. It turns out that these guys stole a sacred statue of this farm, and then he had to go to the city to meet his Slim Shady cousin, who's kind of pudgy and a little overweight and bad gambling problems. And now he and him team up to fight the freaking Thailand mafia to win back the freaking statue of Buddha. I guess they call it Ambak in this one. And then he kicks a bunch of ass, gives a bunch of elbows to the heads, and they make it happen. How'd I do?
42-38.
Oh.
I told you. Telling you it's 45. You're cutting it short.
I'm in the
getting there.
ballpark. I'm in there.
Yeah.
I just trim the fat, guys. I give you guys the meat.
Lean.
Nice and lean.
I love me some turkey burgers.
Oh, man.
All right. So what do we want to get into?
Let's go right into the plot.
All right. Yeah. What y'all think?
Especially because of your performance today. That is an easy 7. That was an easy 7 plot. We've seen it before. This is what year was this made?
2003.
2003.
So 2003. I mean, we've seen it done in older films, but it wasn't overused, and it was still fun storytelling throughout the whole movie. It felt really heavily inspired by Rush Hour. The more I've seen this movie.
Yeah.
But it still had enough weight to stand up on its own. That's what I like about Ong Bak the most.
Fun fact. When Jackie Chan saw Tony Jaa, he liked him so much that he wanted him to be in Rush Hour 3
Whoa.
as a cameo. But because he was also filming believe it was Ong Bak 2, the scheduling conflict couldn't make it in. But Jackie Chan's a fan.
Yeah, they're considering him the Jackie Chan of Thailand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty sick. I'm gonna
So
give
it's
the plot also a 7. I thought it was great. I thought it wasn't rushed. It like was executed well. Had a lot of elements to it, which I enjoyed. So yeah, that's all I have to say about it.
I give it a 7 as well. They put a lot of Thai culture into it, and which made it a little bit different than what we're typically used to.
For
They
sure.
just put a nice spin on it.
What about you, Keenan?
I'm gonna give the plot a solid. I'm gonna give it an 8 because I really felt like this felt like something that could happen, and I feel like they executed it rather well. I think like there was a lot of like emphasis on family. Remember where you come from, and people really shouldn't mess with other people's statues. Like it's sacred. Like there's a point where the wells are drying up and the people in the village are suffering. I give the plot an 8. There, like that. That's what it is.
Closing thought: don't mess with people's statues. That's what I like.
It's okay to disagree with people about religion. It's not okay to go out of your way to steal their religious deity's statue. That was the...
And then have the audacity to call it a worthless hunk of stone.
How dare you? Mafia robot
And then
boss
they got,
robot
then they
voice
got
guy.
irony with the like spoiler alert at the end. I'm not gonna actually say.
All right, what's the
You ruined it.
dang it? All right, what's the next?
Acting. I like the acting for the everybody that was Thai,
Okay.
but the the Australians that they paid for as extras, their lines were awful.
Oh, they were terrible.
They're just like, I fight you loud now.
I didn't think that they could pull off racism towards white people so well, but they knocked it out of the park.
It's definitely a thing that I was talking about in previous pods, where it's like there's something about white people in kung fu films that they script really, really racistly.
Yeah, they do.
But there are some films where like the English doesn't feel out of place. It feels reasonable that it's like, oh no, like he's speaking English like in a area that other people can also speak English.
This isn't English.
This was like, I'm gonna keep talking shit.
Yeah.
Well,
Like to a bunch of Thai people.
to put it in a better perspective, it's as if like if they were trying to speak English, how they would sound.
Speak Thai in English.
If the Thai were trying to speak English,
Yeah.
that's how the translation would sound.
They literally hit Google
that-
Translate
Yes.
from Thai to English.
And then gave the Australian actors the script.
oh my
Which, by the way, shout out to scripters. That like that's a lot of work to take a film or a novel or some other language and then translate it to what you're trying to read to make sense and still tell the same story.
Shout out to translators.
I'll give
I'm gonna give it a.
Let's say it at the same time. On 1 or after 1? 3, 2, 1. 7.
7. You trying to
That
predict
worked.
my shit?
Yeah, did I?
Oh,
Did I predict it?
yeah.
Sound
So
pretty good.
7 out of 10 for acting. Was that yours too?
No, I was just predicting yours.
God damn it! All right.
Mine though was 7 out of 10 as well.
Just honey dicking me all over the place over here.
I'm actually gonna go out of my way and say that it was an 8. I feel like the Thai actors pulled a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like that. I mean, I feel like the Thai actors like that outshines the fact that we have some really generic white people. Like
That's pretty great.
It was really great. There's a lot of fun in the film, and this is one of Tony Jaa's like first films, or is it the first film?
It's his first
Damn.
major film.
Yeah, I can't remember. but-
Everything else, he was like a side character or a stunt double.
like, and so this being his like premiere film, like he does a lot. He does a lot of work for how little he actually did.
Well, he
Yeah.
really did a good job of like bringing the intensity when he was fighting, and then going back to like the innocent like farm boy when he was like talking. You know what I mean? Like just like the good natured
Yeah,
dude.
his acting was good.
What about you,
Keenan.
Keenan? Yeah, let's bring you into the combo.
I'd say I'd give the acting a solid 7. Yeah, like on the Thai people's like, front. But yeah, what was his name? Big Bear.
Oh, God.
I know he was supposed to be obnoxious, but I feel he wasn't obnoxious in the proper way. Like, fuck Muay Thai. No, you're getting on my nerves. You just couldn't wait for Tony Jaa to put an elbow in between his teeth, and he did. It was brilliant. So I guess he did his job, but I didn't like it.
Next
It was
up,
like a hand job.
next up, we have cinematography and musical score.
And put them both together.
Yeah.
I thought the music was incredible. I loved the kind of like the old folky Thai music in the beginning, and every single one of the scenes, the music really just kind of stood out to me. I was like, I like this track.
It was nice hearing traditional Thai music.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
And then still being able to like have modern like electric guitars and stuff going in for me. It wasn't the main focus, but it didn't feel too traditional.
Yeah.
It still felt more modern. And this is 2003, right?
Right.
Right. So like right before this was also Rush Hour in like 2000 or 2001.
And during this time,
And,
everybody was probably wearing their Jinko jeans and doing weird like trance dancing in the streets.
I wasn't
Goth girls hit me
doing
up.
any of that.
I did not like the trance music. I didn't like it, but I did like that it enabled me to get my creative juices flowing to come up with our own song and make Keenan believe it was an actual song. But I forgot the lyrics now, though. It was good.
It was, I believe, Dead Inside. But I mean, like it's trance music. It's both boring and easy to listen to, and like as part of a music soundtrack, like it filled its purpose. But it was nice to watch like a kung fu movie that didn't make it feel too cheesy.
Yeah.
Like we still had, like you guys said, the traditional Thai music at in the beginning of the movie, and there were even some parts of it where it just was like just traditional Thai music.
It was
and Thai
definitely
market and
necessary.
stuff.
Yeah. Well, Keenan, what are your thoughts on the music and the cinematography?
As far as you all talked about music, I'll go into cinematography. I felt hot watching this movie. I felt like I was in Thailand.
Yeah.
In most scenes, actually, I don't know if this counts more as cinematography or more as like makeup doing their job properly, but everyone is sweating in this film super accurately, like humid temperature.
How many
Oh my
times
God.
did they have to change like their wipe beaters during like between
Yeah.
scenes?
And I feel like a common complaint amongst all reviewers, like even like on paper, on YouTube, anywhere, is action movies do too many jump cuts. And like I feel like all the martial art movies we watch just don't do that, like at all. So like I gotta give it a positive there. I really enjoy watching the fights. And as for music, I think the best part that like stood out for me, like Khan here, like even like mentioned it when it was happening. It was the more quieter feel when he was fighting the guy with like the spiked afro, and he was kept backstepping in a very weird way. That Myron was like, no one fights like that.
Oh
Yeah.
Horan Goro.
Yeah, and she's just
It was very exaggerated Bruce Lee
yeah.
motion. He was like running around in circles.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're gonna burn
That's too
yourself
much.
out
it's
like
just
that.
like in compare the music like tied with the way Tony Jaa like stands when he does Muay Thai, how he has his arms out. It made me think of snakes. His fists look like cobras, and I was like, this works. This sounds awesome.
Specifically for cinematography, I want to bring up that they because Keenan brought up the jump cuts, right?
Right.
They're pretty normal, but specifically for Tony Jaa, there's a lot of shots where it's just like, no, we're gonna replay that for you.
Yeah, he
so
has
you
Yeah.
I like the double
experience.
takes. He has like double take,
Like-
triple takes.
right?
Like you need to see this again. You're like, you're right, I do.
You need
Oh.
to see this again from a different angle.
Yes.
Which I brought up to you before because of the other the last film, The Paradox, that like he really like if we see some more Tony Jaa films, you're gonna see how much he loves that flying Muay Thai knee.
I
Yes.
want
Like-
him in another film where he's the main character because he does crazy stunts.
He does.
This was the first time he got to show off his stunts, and this whole movie was about stunts.
Yeah.
There's no wires. It's just, crazy.
Well, in that case, I'm gonna give the cinematography and the music a solid 8. I think this might have been a lower budget film, wasn't it?
It's very low budget,
And
extremely low
I
budget.
think they did such a good job.
Yeah,
at
for their
everything.
budget.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give
everything
it an 8.
besides the budget.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
A high budget or low budget?
Yeah,
This
it's a
is
good
an 8 out of
film.
10 for me.
I give it an 8 out of 10 as well. Music, I give it a 7. It was all right. I don't like trance,
It was a trans.
but
You're-
it was definitely that time frame
Yeah,
where
you're allowed to.
that's
You're
the
allowed
action
to.
music, but I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, you're allowed to
Yeah.
dislike it, but like
When
in
they
its-
turn that music on, I just mute it.
in its job, I think it did great. I give the music a solid 8, and I give the cinematography a solid 8. There's
Awesome.
so many great shots, and you get to see. I mean, if they actually shot in Bangkok, you get to see a lot of good Bangkok.
Hey. What about you? On that note, Keaton.
On that note, we still don't know what that barmaid was.
we
We don't know. Just
Thailand.
saying. But Bangkok has them now. Anyway, I would give I'd give the music a 7, the cinematography an 8, because just the way it's filmed and like some of the scenes, like it goes from like serious butt kick film to like campy I'm Jackie Chan running through the streets and like no seconds flat, and it all works perfectly.
Oh, it was one
Yes.
of my favorite chase scenes, but we'll get to that in a second. For cinematography, I also give it. Did I already give my score?
I think you did.
Oh,
think you
okay,
did.
sweet.
Yeah. And your
we're
music score.
moving along here.
Next up, action choreography.
Ooh.
So
Conte, you
about
can start this.
This film actually didn't have that many fight scenes. There was 6. Which
Okay.
This is a solid number.
It was just long.
One training scene, they were long, yes. But the main thing it was like short fight scenes setting up chase scenes. For the most part, it got better, but a lot of repetitiveness with elbows and knees, which I know is Muay Thai, but in his future films, you can see his choreography is more complex.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, when we saw it in Paradox,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he was crazy. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 because I think he did a good job of building up. Obviously, the chase scenes were awesome, and he added humor to it, which was just made it all the better for me.
his future films get crazy with his choreography. That's why I can't give this like a high score.
Yeah.
So I also give it a 7 out of 10. It's fantastic groundwork, but when you compare it to his later films, yeah.
Well, I love the build up to
Yeah.
like the final fight scenes, because it's just like he doesn't do the extreme stuff. Like he pleases you enough with like the smaller, not as extreme kind of hits to knock people out, and then at the end he really gets into the extreme kind of more intense, he's really hurting the guy that he's up against type of fights. So 7 out of 10.
I'm actually gonna give it because of what Nakansi said, where we've seen, like, me and Nakansi have seen a couple of his other films.
All of them.
I haven't seen all of them, but still, like it just, this is the groundwork, and it is already that good. But because I've seen all the other stuff too, I would have to give it as low as a 6, because it's easily recommendable. But this is by far like this is like this is the bar,
Yeah.
like everything else is actually blowing my mind. This was great.
His stunts are amazing.
But,
Stunts
like-
amazing.
Yeah.
I am so glad you three all went first. I had these exact same thoughts, and I was afraid you guys are going to be like, you're crazy, Keenan, no, come on. We must all be in the drift because, yes, I've seen other Tony Jaa projects and films. I've seen him in other things, and I understand he's, like, just, like, a normal guy in most of these films, but Tony Jaa is not a normal man, and I'm sorry, a lot of the fight scenes feel like these people have no business trying to fight with this dude. Like, a lot of them feel like blowouts. Like, even like when like they hype up like the dudes in the underground like fight ring, it's just he decimates them.
One hit.
Like, and yeah, the first dude is a one hit. He like rolls over and catches him in the chest with his knee, and it's just that's really cool, but it's just my favorite Tony Jaa film is The Protector. And
he said it. He
yeah,
went and said it.
I had because that film, like, the first like 25 minutes is Ong Bak, but then the rest of it is just these weird like martial arts mercenaries being sent after him. You get to see how cool Muay Thai is. You get to see how cool like wrestling can be. You get to see how cool that sword style Yun Sung off Soul Calibur 2 can be. You get to see how badass Capoeira is because Lateef Crowder's in that movie. It's like, okay. It's okay. I love that movie. So I'm gonna have to give this a 6, but I give it a respectful 6 because real talk, Tony Jaa is the reason why every dude who does mixed martial arts now says they're practicing Muay Thai, even though they might not really be. Like, Tony Jaa made it cool.
Heck yeah. All right, what do we got next?
Overall,
I'm
gonna say badass film. It's badass.
Yes,
it's a badass film. It goes down in history.
It's
books.
a badass film.
Heck
There's
yeah.
some crazy shit that happens in this movie.
I'm gonna give it a badass film too, because it's like it's got that folky feel, it's got that action feel, it's got that Street Fighter feel. It checks a lot of the items off the list for me. So
all of your like action movie items.
Yeah.
Like, I like this character. Oh, there's some cool fight scenes.
It makes
there's
you
some great chase scenes.
Oh, this guy's hilarious. Yes.
It makes you want more Tony Jaa films.
Yeah, 100%. Great debut for the guy, Keenan.
Yeah, I give it a like. Even like as we were starting it, like, you know, as like Nikansi was bringing it up, I was like, this film is so kick ass. I love this film. I love watching this movie because I love The Protector. I've watched Ong Bak more because it comes on more, and I'm just like, I'm not turning the channel. This is on. I'm watching this. This is good. This is a good movie.
I think we're gonna end it up with our
WTF moment.
WTF, mate. All right.
Wait, we didn't give it an overall rating.
Oh,
actual
We all
number
say
score?
it's badass for a number score. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10.
same.
8.
Is different.
Yes. All right. What the fuck moments?
All right, so I'm gonna bring up at least one of my first moments.
This movie
It's
cracks
kind
me
of
up.
hard. It's kind of hard to remember all of them. There's a lot of good moments of just like, oh, that was cool. That was crazy. Particularly, it is during the chase scene, and he does the splits.
Spoiler
and
alert.
Slides under the truck.
Oh yeah.
I remember the first time I watched that, and every time I watched it since then, it's been like, my God.
That'll give Jean-Claude Van Damme a run for his money.
For sure. He for sure like teabagged the concrete underneath his.
Yeah.
Jean-Claude Van Damme
Ow.
wanted
You
to.
think about that.
Tuck it to the side.
Just think about that.
I mean, that's like the biggest one for me. I'm trying to remember another one, so I'll let you take it.
Okay, I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna. My what the fuck moment is like, just kind of. I get that. I get the reason why they did this is canon to the film, but the part where there's a girl overdosing and it was yeah. It
I didn't
was,
like it. I don't like that part.
It was Humlai's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
Tried to blink it out of my memory.
I mean, I don't care what my ex-girlfriend did to me. If I see her like overdosing in the in an apartment building, I'm gonna stick around. I'm not gonna tell the bellboy in passing, hey yo, call an ambulance for room 212, and I gotta go because there's a statue lost, and I gotta find it, sir. Like, but I get why they did it. So that was my what the fuck moment right there.
Spoiler alert. There's this part where
Say spoiler again.
spoiler alert.
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. There's
Just
this
once.
part with this really long saw.
Oh,
And-
fuck.
I didn't know how long they were gonna dig it into Tony Jaa's forearms because he used his forearms to block the saw from cutting his throat. And he just kept pressing, and he was just like screaming in agony, and yeah, it just kept going on way too long.
That was definitely cringe.
Nakansi's gonna have
Central.
to cut the spoiler alert and put that at the beginning. Just edit it into every single one of our new pods. Where it's just like
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
right before we get to the what the fuck moments.
Okay, you're just making yourself. You're
Oh.
editing so much fun.
I know so much.
But another what the fuck moment that I had, and it was this was as both like as a kid when the movie first came out, and like even now, well, I don't know how many times I've rewatched this. It never ceases to not make me go like, why are they doing this? And it's when Big Bear, no, not Big Bear. They don't tell the other guy's name, but like the pirate, like Arab guy. What was his name? Mad Dog?
Yes, that's the real name.
Okay, my apologies. Mad Dog, right? Just pretty much his entire fight scene is like what's going on, but specifically when he like rips out the electrical wire and starts waving it around.
And mind you, this was after he was just trying to beat up Tony Jaa with a bunch of tables.
I don't know why they try to make him like look the most badass character. He for sure like
Was the
just
silliest character.
Yeah.
He's sillier than Afro like Bruce Lee guy.
yeah, or Ichigo. I don't know. You kind of look like Ichigo from Bleach.
He did pick up the fridge though, like it was a table. I'm like, wow, that's a strong man.
That is
a
a
strong,
strong
man.
We should have kept a table count
We
as
should've.
opposed to a action scene count. We haven't heard Keenan's what the fuck
I
moment.
feel like we have to keep account of like a bunch of just improvised weapons. Specifically
cool.
because me and Keenan play D&D, and I know you're getting interested in
I
D&D.
want to play once.
So eventually we're gonna just have like an
Don't look at me.
improvised weapons list, and we're gonna keep
Stop,
track
I'm not
of it.
playing D&D with
Yes,
you.
you are.
No, I'm not.
Knives for sale. Knives
We'll
for
let them figure
sale.
that out on their own, but that part was
I'm
hilarious.
not spoiling Jack.
That's like
you gotta go watch
that was
this
comedy
movie.
gold.
Oh my Knives for sale.
Makes you just love older women.
What?
Well,
Fun fact of the podcast: Nakansi's the one who taught me what wrinkle rocker meant.
Oh God. Well,
I came up with that
he'll
term.
never
That's
he'll never
fantastic.
live the wrinkle rocker term down.
Look
It was
up.
all because I said Reba McEntire could bring me a plate of cookies anytime back in high school.
Look it up on UrbanDictionary.com. Give me a like.
his face is right there. Hugest cheesy smile in the world.
Right next to
Um,
wrinkle rocker.
I think that's it. I think we covered all our bases. Guys, on back. Go check it out if
Whole
you
movie
haven't
is badass.
already. If you've already watched it, just watch it again.
Be sure to like our Instagram, follow our Instagram, and our other plugins are going to be in description down below.
Yes, sir.
Let us know in our YouTube channel what you thought of the film or what your favorite part was.
Nice
And
for sale.
yeah, and website's still under construction, guys, but it is coming soon. We're so excited.
Next Friday, we actually have our pod site up.
Yes,
And then soon we'll actually be on Spotify.
we'll be up on Spotify. We're gonna
In
do
probably like 3 weeks.
iTunes, Stitcher. So we'll be getting up on there for you guys. Make it a little easier for you to listen to the episodes. Don't forget to shoot us an email and tell us what you guys want us to watch. Next week, we have our first listener submission, and that's from our very own Keenan. Let's see here, right? He suggested that we watch. I think we're gonna watch The Samurai of Ayutthaya. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Iathonia, bro. It's Yamada, the samurai of Iathonia.
There we
Let
go.
this weeb get his heart on going for a second. Gosh, Keenan, so rude.
I could have said samurai, and I didn't. So, calm your tits. All right.
I think it is Ayathaya.
It's Ayathaya.
Ayathaya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna let
Yamada.
you. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I'm not gonna let you live it down. Just like he's not gonna live it down.
Pronunciation.
I'm a weeb, guys. I accept it.
Oh, right here.
Okay.
This is how you pronounce it.
Oh, hold on for it.
Oh wait, we've been doing this bit for a while.
Ayutthaya.
Woo, child.
Ayutthaya.
All right.
Thailand.
But that's okay. Hey, I'm not gonna diss him because he made our
Weeb.
first listener suggestion. So, guys, we'll see you next Kung Fu Friday. Peace.
Hidden Shadows of the Secret Chamber.
Hidden Shadows of the Secret Chamber.
That's a great close.
My blade knows only to rest in your heart.